Hello everyone, ARG back with some more Franchise Hockey Manager 8, and today we are in February of 1993. We're not doing too good, folks. We are ninth in the conference, so that's gonna need to change. Now, as is customary of me, the players that I do want to bring back that are on expiring contracts are getting a contract offer on February 1st. So here we go. All of those guys are slated to come back. We still have Gary Gaddy that's out until pretty much the end of the season. Joe Rickey is day to day. And today is the day that I may be giving my buddy JT Dutch a heart attack. More on that to come. So, yeah. We're going to be starting with two quick games on the road. Looks like February is not going to be overly loaded with games. So hopefully we can kind of turn things around here a little bit. Alright, so we're going to have a bunch of news with players that sign contracts with me. Alright, so John Ogrodnik not suspended with the Rangers, so he gets to stay in the lineup. However, Corey Millen, playing for the Islanders, did get suspended, and he is going to be missing 6 games. Thomas Sundstrom had a memorable game. He had a hat-trick, 3 goals against the Islanders. Dale Auerchuk extends his goal streak to 6 games with a goal against the Suns. Brett Hull extends his point streak to 12 games with 2 goals against the Maple Leafs. Bruce McNall is satisfied despite us being out of a playoff spot at the moment. We're going to need to change that. Mark Recchi extended with the Penguins. That's a 3-year contract. Mark Messier signed a 2-year extension with the Oilers. Gerald Deduck signed his contract. Gusarov signed. Artur Serbe signed. Robert Lang signed. Luc Robitaille signed. Ray Shepard signed. Sveta signed. Gary Vogt signed. And Randy Wood signed. So there's a few players that I am not bringing back. We're going to check that real quick here. So they would be those players. So I have no interest in bringing Al Seckert back. Scott Arniel, no interest in bringing him back. He's really declining. Andy Roach, not bringing him back. Randy Ladouceur, I'm gonna move away from. He's 32 years old by now. And then Jamie Ram, the goaltender, was never going to be much of anything. So I'm moving away from him as well. Alright, so we are going to be playing a game against the Nordiques. So in Quebec City, we are 0-1 against the Nordiques this season. That was a 5-4 loss at home. So let's see if we can beat them on the road. Alright. Artur Serbe is going to be in net for the Kings. Daniel Berthiaume in net for the Nordiques. And of course, go Kings! Let's start the month on a good note, shall we? We lost 5-4 in overtime, so that's not a good start. Oh god, we outshot Quebec 55-27, and we ended up with the loss. We got robbed by Daniel Berthiaume in that one. Zygmunt Palffy, playing for the Nordiques, was the first star of the game. He had 2 goals and an assist. Wayne Gretzky was the second star with a goal and 2 assists, and Jeff Brown was the third star with a goal and 2 assists. Quebec opened up the scoring in the first, then Mike Ridley tied the game. Oh wow, that was 32 seconds later from Gerald Deduck and Ray Shepard. Then Wayne Gretzky scored on the power play from Ray Shepard and Alexei Gusarov. 2-1 Kings after 1. Then in the second period, Alexander Mogilny scored on the power play from Wayne Gretzky. It was 3-1. Then the Nordiques scored, so we had a 3-2 lead after 2. However, the Nordiques scored twice. It was 4-3 at that point. Luc Robitaille scored from Wayne Gretzky and Gary Valk to tie the game with 1 minute and 49 seconds left to go in the third period. So we went to overtime, but in overtime Zygmunt Palffy played the hero and we lost 5-4. John Blue, the goaltender, has been put on waivers by the Flyers. Kevin Lowe played in 1,000 games in his career, didn't score a point. Kevin Lowe is 33 years old and he is a star and a half player. Cam Neely in that same game, because Kevin Lowe had his 1,000 game against the Bruins. So in that same game, Cam Neely had a hat trick, so he kind of stole the show a little bit. Oh, Gary Roberts is hurt in Calgary. He's going to miss 4 weeks with a broken toe. Okay, so it's going to hurt the Flames a little bit, so that's good for us if we can ever win a game. If we can ever win an NHL hockey game ever again, that is. Larry Murphy extends his point streak to 16 games. He had an assist in that same game against the Flames. And those players have feelings, and we don't care. It's the 90s. We're still not really worried about that kind of stuff. Alright, we are now in Montreal to play against the Canadiens. Montreal is 25, 23, and 7, so they've turned it around a little bit. I believe last time we faced them, they had a losing record. We are 1-0-1 against Montreal this season. I would love to turn things around with a W here. That'd be pretty great. François Gravel in net for that one. Patrick Roy in net for Montreal. Go Kings, come on. And we lost 7-6 in regulation. We're not doing good, folks. And we outshot the opposition again. Outshot Montreal 41-33. Claude Lemieux was the first star of the game. He had a goal and 2 assists. Robert Cron was the second star with 2 goals. And Jamie Baker was the third star with an assist. So Montreal scored twice in the first period. Then we tied the game with the 2 Robert Cron goals who were scored within 31 seconds of each other. So the first one from Gary Valk and Mike Ridley, and the second one from Gary Valk and Mike Ridley as well. Then Montreal scored, and it was 3-2 Montreal after one. There was a fight between Robert Nordmark and Randy Ladouceur. Then in the second period, Andrew Castle scored on a power play from Randy Wood and Robert Rackle. Then Luc Robitaille scored his 30th from Randy Ladouceur and Wayne Gretzky. 4-3 Kings. Then Montreal tied the game. Then Alexander McGillney scored his 30th from Luc Robitaille and Adam Bird. It was 5-4. Then Montreal tied the game. It was 5-5 after 2. And in the third period, Montreal scored. Then Ray Shepard tied the game from Alexei Gusarov and Jeff Smith. But with about midway mark of the third period, Montreal scored, made it 7-6, and sadly that score would hold, so we lost yet again. And Luc Robitaille is injured. Why not? My best goal scorer is out, hopefully not for too long. 2-3 weeks. Ouch. Alright, so Luc Robitaille has a sprained ankle. Ray Ferraro extends his assist streak to 8 games with 2 goals and an assist against Buffalo. Rich Chernomaz is back from suspension in Philadelphia. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that name. That wouldn't be the first time, and I can tell you right now, it's not going to be the last time I mispronounce a name on this series. Martin Gélina sidelined with the Oilers. He's going to be out 6 months. Got hurt against the Sens. He has a torn ACL. See you next year. No suspension for Zygmunt Palffy playing for the Nordiques. Brian Bellows extends his assist streak to 8 games with 2 assists against the Sharks. Dale Hawerchuk extends his goal streak to 7 games with a goal and 3 assists against the Blues. And Brett Hull extends his point streak to 13 games in that same game with a goal and 2 assists. Alright, so gotta put Robitaille on the injured reserve, and then we're gonna go ahead and recall an Alf-star player of my choose. Oh yeah, we have Robert Lang. Oh, Robert Lang is a full star now. He was an alpha star not too long ago. Well, that's good. Come back up, buddy. Alright, we have 5 days off, and then we're gonna be back home, so we have a little bit of a break here. I wonder if it's the All-Star break or something. Probably. We can tell if there's no... Yeah, there's no game, so I think it's the All-Star break. Alright, Joe Ricky's about to come back, and then JT Dutch, whenever you're watching that on YouTube, I want to sit down. I made a pretty big trade. As you all know, I need help on D, right? So I needed to address that, so I did. Yeah, I did it. So I talked about maybe trading Gretzky, so I did. Gretzky was traded a few times in his career, so why not by me? The greatest GM to have never GM'd a real team or something. So yeah, I'm parting ways with Gretzky, so we're not winning with Gretzky in the lineup. I have good depth at center. That's pretty much the only position I have good depth at. And I'm pretty okay on right wing because I have Glenn Murray coming there as well. I really needed help on D, especially with Gary Gaddy that's hurt, so to me that was a no-brainer. So I kind of toyed away with two different teams that I wanted to trade with. One was Toronto, which obviously that's the team I made the trade with. The other one was the Bruins. With Boston, I was trying to get Glenn Wesley, Greg Allgood, and Randy Burridge, but I felt that it wasn't as solid as this trade here. So I'm parting ways with Wayne Gretzky. I'm parting ways with the rights of Eric Germain, which is 26 and I never re-signed. And I'm parting ways with the rights to Steve Guola. And I'm getting in return Rob Blake, Todd Gill, Dave Reed, and a first-round draft pick. So you might feel a little bit underwhelming, the return for Gretzky, but Rob Blake is going to be really solid. Todd Gill is an okay defenseman without being too crazy good, but he's better than some of the defensemen I have on my team right now. And Dave Reed is going to be a good third line type of left winger. I'm moving away from Scott Arniel. I'm kind of expecting for him to kind of take that spot in the lineup. And then, of course, a first-round draft pick. So, yeah, there we have it. Gretzky's gone. He was gone most of the season anyway, then he came back and we started losing, like, every single game. I think I won one game since he came back. And, of course, I'm not blaming it only on him. I'm blaming it on the fact that I didn't have any good defense, but there you have it. Now I have a defense that should be able to play, especially when Gary Gaddy comes back. So, yeah. There you go. I did it. Yet again, I made the biggest trade of all season. So that's kind of to make up for last season. I didn't really make any trades. So there you have it. All right. Oh, I have to click complete trade. There we go. Hey, FJ. Did you just got in? You might want to look at that trade that I just made. I did it. And no, I'm not winning, which is part of why I made that trade. I really needed help on D, so I went with the highest value player I had to fix that. Man, it's not my fault. I can't decide. You know, you've tied my hands, right? With the ARG thing, so So that there weren't a lot of different places. The only other place that I could have traded him to was Boston, but the return wouldn't have been as good, so I went with that one instead. So Wayne Gretzky is a Maple. Oh man, can you imagine if that would have happened in real life? I think like half the Leafs fan base would have had a heart attack and would have just died right there. Robert Lang is going to be wearing number 19. Lots of great centers in history at number 19. Yeah, I guess not, huh? Alright, so I have to fix my lineup a little bit. I have too many players now. Okay, so so I need to send down 2 defensemen, so Rimeshaw's gonna be one of them for sure. And then Adam Burt, because he doesn't have to go through waivers. Although I could try to send down Randy Ledusser. I don't really care if he gets Klein. He's really slowed down. Or maybe I carry 2 extra defensemen and I send Robert Lang back down. Yeah. No. I'm gonna put Al Seckert on. Oh, I guess I can't, huh? Because I claimed him. Oh no, I could. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna go with just 1 extra forward and 2 extra D-man for now. Yeah, they're just ahead of us, so they're not doing all that great. They're 8 in the conference right now, so hopefully we can start winning and send them further down. Alright, so I'm gonna like my D a little bit more now, especially with Gary Gaddy that's out for all that time. Now we have Luc Robitaille that's hurt as well, so we're gonna need to wait for him to come back, but yeah. Alright, so a few more days off. I believe it is the All-Star break. Oh, Al Seckert didn't clear waivers. That's so sad. Daniel Bertium has been... Oh god, he just had a really good game against us and then he just got put on waivers. Alright, so the Jets claim Al Seckert. There are rumors of a trade for Randy Burridge. He's on the trading block. Okay, Gusarov, I'm sorry. You're gonna need... Alright, so Gusarov gets the number 5 that he had with the Nordiques back in the day. Rob Blake, of course, I'm giving him his number 4. Alright, now Todd Gill wants number 3. I'm gonna leave it to Gary Gaddy, so you need a different one. Todd Gill can get number 2. How about that? Dave Reed wants number 14. He can get it. Nobody has it. There you go. Oh, I might want to name a new captain and everything, right? I don't have a captain anymore. Rob Blake. Yeah, I am totally fine with giving the captaincy to Rob Blake. Traded for next day. You're the captain. There you go. Oh, Robert Reichel. There you go. You're going to be alternate 1. And then alternate 2. Oh god, there's a lot of 14s. Let's give it to Mike Ridley. No. Let's give it to Gusarov. Here we go. All right. So yeah, Arnott is better than Rob Niedermeyer, or should be. But are they still gonna be available? That's gonna be the thing. All right, let's continue to advance. Oh no, Al Secured was claimed by the Jets. That's my sad face right now. All right. Joe Rickey completely recovered. That's good. And Brian Bellows extends with Minnesota. That's a 3-year extension. Hasn't been traded to the Habs yet. Pavel Bure extends his goal streak to 5 games with 2 goals against Hartford. Ray Ferraro extends his assist streak to 9 games with a goal and an assist against the Blues. Brett Hull extends his point streak to 14 games with an assist against the Whalers. John McLean has a great game. 3 goals and an assist against the Rangers. Mario Lemieux is day-to-day with an injury, but before getting injured, he extended his point streak to 17 with an assist. Oh, great! 9 days injury for Ray Shepherd. Exactly what I needed. I'm gonna keep him in the lineup. Now I understand that kind of forces the hand of my coach, but yeah, we'll take it from there. Yeah, but I also have a shot at Alexander Daigle, right? Alright, so that's going to be our first official game without Gretzky. Not that he's hurt, not that he's suspended. He just got traded, so... Alright, so the Oilers are in town. The Oilers are 28, 25, and 2. That's good for 5th in the conference. And we are 2-2 against the Oilers this season. Most of it was without Gretzky. He was hurt most of the season anyway. So the after Gretzky era starts. So let's see if it starts with a W. Look at that. The 2 defensemen that I got in the Gretzky trade became my first pair. Given that Galley is out, but still. Alright, Grand Fjord is going to be a net for the Oilers. Artus Airby is a net for us. Go Kings! There you go. A win. I solved the problem. Alright, so a 5-2 win at home. Usually we're not really good at home too, so that's pretty good. So a 5-2 win over the Oilers at home. We were outshot 39-24 too, so that's not good. Pretty happy that Arthur Searby had a good one in the system for that one. Wow, Ken Gernander, of all people, was the first star of the game. He had a goal and an assist. Scott Arneal was the second star with a goal and an assist as well. And Arthur Searby was the third star with 37 saves. And the W, of course. No, Airby has not turned it around yet, but I was kind of blaming some of it on the D. I had a really bad defense. Now, when Gary Gaddy's going to be back, I'm going to have actually a defense worth the name. Alright, so full sellout crowd here in LA for this particular game. Randy Wood opened up the scoring in the first from Alexander McGillney and Todd Gill. See Todd Gill already participating to the scoring. 1-0 Kings, then the Oilers tied the game. Then we scored again. Andrew Castle's short-handed from Dave Reed. Look at that. And Gerald Deduck. The players that I got are already contributing. I love that. And then the Oilers tied the game again. It was 2-2 after 1. Yeah, exactly. That's my hope, at least. You know, the good old adage of keeping shots to the outside and whatnot. Then in the second period, Ken Gernander scored from Scott Arniel and Robert Lang, and then Scott Arniel scored short-handed from Joe Rickey and Ken Gernander. It was 4-2 Kings after 2. Then finally in the third period, Robert Reichel scored from Alexander McGillney and Dave Reed, 5-2 win for the Kings. I don't know. My coach is still playing airbase, so who knows? Brian Bellows extends his assist streak to 9 games. He had a goal and 3 assists. Wow, celebrated that contract extension now, did he? Goal and 3 assists against the Washington Capitals. Dino Ciccarelli has a memorable game. 3 goals and an assist in that same game. Good game for Dave Gagne in that same game. Something tells me that they all play on the line together. A goal and 4 assists for him. Larry Murphy's point streak ended at 16 games. He was held scoreless against the North Stars in that same game. Pat LaFontaine, goal streak of 5 games. 1 goal and 1 assist against the Habs. Jeff Courtnall extends his goal streak to 5 games, 2 goals against the Sens. Wow, at this rate, I don't know if the Sens are going to get their 10th win like they did in real life in their first season. Michel Goulet played in 1,000 games in his career, didn't get a point. That happened against the Canucks. Michel Goulet is 32, and he is still a 3.5-star player. Rebel night for Brett Hull. 3 goals and 2 assists against the Bruins. That's pretty good. And that was 15 straight games with a point for him. Alright, we have a day off, and then the Wings are going to be in town. Mike McHugh has been put on waivers. I will not be picking him up. Brad Mccrimmon played in his 1,000th game in his career. Celebrated that with an assist against the Sharks. So Brad Mccrimmon is 33. He's still a 2-star defenseman. Mark Rickey lights the lamp. He also extended at the start of this stream. 4 goals and an assist against the Rangers. Pretty good game for Mark Rickey. Kevin Stevens has a memorable game, a goal and 4 assists in that same game. Oh, and then there's been a trade. Oh, dear God. The Leafs got fleeced, to be politically correct. That is ridiculous. Whew. I'm gonna need to take a drink here. I'm having an episode. So the Devils traded Mike McHugh and Lilo Deline to the Leafs, for Eric Lindros and somebody named Oyvind Sorley. Hey, welcome on the stream for the first time. Yeah, your Devils just got a nice piece there. Yeah, the Leafs had Lindros, but he wasn't playing. He's 19. So he's like a 1-star player or something. Yeah, he's an alpha star player. But yeah, they just traded Lindros to the Devils for friggin' Lilo Deline and Mike McHugh. Wow. I still made the biggest trade, but that is a big trade as well. The Devils now with Eric Lindros. They have Teemu Selänne. They still have Kirk Muller. God, the Devils are going to be pretty tough here in a second. Alright, Wings are in town. The Wings are 28, 23, and 5. That's good for 4th in the conference. And we are 1-1 against the Red Wings this season. Tim Shovelday in net for Detroit. Artis Airbay in net for us. Go Kings! Oh! We are not perfect anymore. In the after Gretzky era, so yeah, we lost 5-3 at home. Can't wait for things to stabilize a little bit. So we outshot Detroit in that one, 35-31. Adam Graves was the first star of the game. He had 2 assists. Rob Brown was the second star with 2 assists, and God, Gord Hines was the 3rd star with a goal and an assist. Sellout crowd. I know, maybe Toronto just felt that that Lindros became expendable because they got Gretzky. Plus, you know, not stole, but I got 2 of their D-man back with me in the trade. So they were probably desperate for a trade, so they just went and grabbed the first defenseman they could find, which was Lyle Odeline. Yeah, they have somebody. I know they have Teemu Selanne. They still have Brendan Shanahan. I think they still have Pat Verbeek as well. They're starting to have a pretty good team over there. Kind of scared. Thankfully, I'm playing in the West. Alright, so let's see. Detroit scored first in the first period, then Ken Gernander tied the game from Rob Blake and Robert Klein. It was tied at 1, but Detroit scored 2 goals. It was 3-1 Detroit after 1. Then in the second period, we tied the game. Mike Ridley from Alexei Gusarov and Rob Brown, and then Mike Ridley scored his 15th from Gerald Deduck and Rob Brown. We were tied at 3. And then, sadly, Detroit scored twice in the third period, and they ran away with that game. Oh, Randy Wood got a major for boarding. Hopefully he's not suspended. I don't have many spares left. Oh, dear God. Don't you hate it when, you know, you're done with a game and you come to that screen and you see red everywhere? I know, I don't like it. Okay, so Andrew Castles is hurt. Randy Wood is hurt. Let's see what's happening. Okay, so Castles is day-to-day, so that's not too bad. And Randy Wood... Oh, Randy Wood got suspended, so he didn't get hurt. Oh boy. Alright, so Castles is day-to-day. Bruised ribs. Randy Wood is suspended for 8 games. Dear God, what did you do? Took a machete on the ice. Yeah, San Jose is not doing good. The Sens are not doing good either. Doug Wilson extends his assist streak to 9 games in Chicago, 2 assists against the Bruins. Jeff Courtnall extends his goal streak to 6 games with a goal and an assist against Montreal. Brett Hull extends his point streak to 16 games with a goal against the Washington Capitals. Brian Bellows' assist streak ended at 9 games. No point for Bellows against the Lightning. Oh, there's been a trade between the Sabres and San Jose. Mike Foligno and the rights to Dave Brown go to the San Jose Sharks. And in return, Buffalo gets Terry Ake. Yeah, I think that Buffalo got the better player. Terry Ake was okay-ish, like third line type of player. Then we got a trade proposal from the Devils who want to trade me Chris Sichucky. Sure, I said that flawlessly. For Ken Gernander, and I'm going to say no. Ken Gernander has been scoring goals. Alright, we have some lineup tempering to make here before the game against Washington. Right, Joe Sakic extends his point streak to 12 games. He had 2 assists against the Flames. There was no stopping Craig Simpson in Edmonton. He had a hat-trick against the Sharks. Todd Ellick. For a second, I thought that I got a suspension, and I didn't play Todd Ellick, not Todd Gill. So Todd Ellick got suspended with the Rangers. He's going to miss 1 game. Pat LaFontaine extends his goal streak to 6 games with a goal in that same game against the Rangers. Ray Ferraro's assist streak ended at 9 games. He got no points against the Jets. And yes, we are entertaining offers for Scott Arniel. Hopefully we get a decent offer. Alright, now I have to look at that mess. I don't wanna, but I have to. Oh boy. I'm gonna send Adam Burt down. bruised ribs, sore elbow. Oh man. Let's put Castles on the injured reserve. Now I need to recall two. Whoa. Two forwards. We don't have a whole lot of choices. Alright, so we're gonna bring back Arvidsson. He did okay when he came back. He got 2 points. We don't have a whole lot of depth. And I guess Alex X. Alright, so we are pretty banged up. We're going to be facing the Washington Capitals. They have a good team. They are 31-22-2 this season. I haven't played them, so we're going to take a look at their lineup here. Well, I see a lot of stars. So Clint Malarchuk and Andy Moog in net for the Caps. Bill Older, Scott Stevens, Sammy Elenosh, Kevin Hatcher, Larry Murphy, David Sean D, Brent Ashton, Jim Piplinski, Valerie Zilipukin, Jeff Sanderson, Manny Manaluk, Dave Christian, Dale Hunter, Bernie Nichols, Donna Odette, Kelly Buckberger, John Drews, Jocelyn Lemieux, Scott Mellenby, Oleg Petrov, and Mikhail Renberg up front. That's a fairly well-balanced team, so that's no wonder that they have a pretty good record. Alright, that game might be a little tough. We're out a lot of firepower. Andy Moog is going to be in net for the Caps. Archie Serby's in net for us. Go Kings! We need a bounce-back game here. Oh! We came to play. 4-0 win for... Seeing as how many injuries we have and whatnot, that's pretty good. So... Look at that, 31-18 for us, the shots. Robert Reichel was the first star of the game, he had a goal and an assist. Dave Reed was the second star with 2 assists, and Robert Cron was the third star with a goal and an assist. Sellout crowd yet again in Inglewood today. Robert Reichel scored his 25th of the season from Todd Gill and Dave Reed, 1-0 Kings after 1. Then in the second period, Alexander McGillney scored on the power play from Dave Reed and Robert Reichel, and then Robert Cron scored his 10th from Gary Volk and Mike Ridley, 3-0 Kings after 2. We saw some face punching, Randy Ladouceur and Scott Stevens, yeah. And then Rob Blake and Mike Manaluk. Oh, I thought it was Manny, it's Mike. Sorry, I got that one wrong. And then in the third period, Rob Blake made it 4-0 from Rob Brown and Robert Cron. It was a 4-0 lead, and there was a fight between Gerald Deduck and Scott Mellenby. Nice character win here, despite all the injuries. Alright, Joe Mullen in Calgary is hurt. He's gonna miss 4 weeks. So, Kel, the best, have you decided which challenge you're gonna tackle down next now that you won the cup with the Devils? Jeff Courtnall extends his goal streak to 7 games with 2 goals against the Devils. Todd Illick's suspension ends. Shane Carson set everything up tonight. He had 4 assists against the Sens. Sens still don't have their 10th win, man. Mike Keane has a good game. In that same game, he had a hat-trick. Doug Wilson's assist streak ended at 9 games. He had a goal against Pittsburgh. Brett Hull extends his point streak to 17 games. He had 2 assists against Detroit. Go for it. It's not a super long one, so then you can tackle another one after that. Sounds good. I'm going to a hockey game today. It's university game, so the caliber is not gonna be all that great, but hey, it's a hockey game. Peter Klima lights the lamp, 3 goals and an assist against the Blues. A strong game for Steve Yzerman, a goal and 4 assists in that same game. And Ken Saburin is back in the lineup in Detroit. Prospects playing what? In the university game that I'm going to? Dude, I live in Oklahoma, so no. I mean, I wish, but yeah. It would be fun, but no. It would be cool if I were living like in Michigan or something where they have decent teams. No, Oklahoma is not famous for its great hockey programs, although there's a few NHLers that came from Oklahoma that, that made it to the NHL. Tyler Arneson being one of them, and I believe there's a Islanders defenseman that's from Oklahoma too, but I forget his name. Right, Mark Rickey extends his goal streak to 5 games. He had a goal against the Buffalo Sabres. Peter Klima extends his goal streak to 5 games with a goal against the Hawks. Joe Sakic extends his point streak to 13 games with a goal and an assist against the Oilers. Esa Tikkanen in that same game had a hat-trick. Dino Ciccarelli extends his point streak to 12 games with 2 goals against Toronto. Great night for Jeff Courtnall. He had 3 goals and 2 assists. Yeah, that's pretty good against the against the Devils. Jeff Courtnall, with that performance, got goals in 8 straight games. Oh, Luc Robitaille might be able to come back soon. That'd be great. And Jeff Brown, after being put on the trading block earlier this season, extended with the Nordiques. So that's a 2-year extension. I remember Jeff Brown with the Nordiques. I liked him when I was a kid. All right, Vancouver are in town. They are 26, 24, and 6. That's good for 8 in the conference. They are right in front of us. We are 1-4 against Vancouver this season. We haven't been playing very well against them. So let's see if my retooled team does a little bit better in that regard. Oh god, that 4th line doesn't look very good. Alright, Kirk McLean is going to be in net for Vancouver. Arthur Serbe is in net for the Kings. Go Kings! And we won 6-3. Depends what the challenge is. I don't know all of the challenges on top of my head. Some of them are super short, like 1 season. But yeah, it depends what it is. I know that I'm super disappointed that the Whalers one is only a 1-season challenge. I would totally do a historical challenge with the Whalers. Alright, so we won. Alright, so we were hosting the Canucks and it's a 6-3 victory. So far we are 3-1 in the after Gretzky era. Alright, so we were outshot 33 to 31. Rob Brown was the first star of the game. He had 3 assists. Robert Klein was the second star with a goal and an assist. And Rob Blake was the third star with 2 goals and an assist. So my new acquisitions have been doing pretty good. Oh, that sounds challenging. Alright, sellout crowd again. Rob Blake scored his 10th of the season. That was a power play tally from Robert Reichel and Dave Reed. Then Rob Blake again from Rob Brown and Robert Lang. Then Magnus Arvidsson scored from Alex Hicks and Ken Gernander. It was 3-0 Kings at that point. Then Jaromir Jagr of Vancouver scored 3-1 Kings after 1. Then in the second period, Dave Reed scored on the power play from Rob Brown and Robert Reichel, made it 4-1. Then the Canucks scored twice to come to within one. It was 4-3 Kings after 2. Then in the third period, Robert Lang scored from Rob Brown and Rob Blake, and finally Alexei Gusarov from Robert Cron and Jeff Smith. 6-3 victory, folks. Awesome. Oh, Ken Gernander got hurt. He was getting some points. That's not good for him. Maybe he would have developed into his full star potential. Oh man, that's crazy. If that's what happens, usually you're pretty on point with your random 80s facts. Okay, Gernander is day-to-day. I don't know if he can play. Brett Hull extends his point streak to 18 games. He had a goal and an assist against the Rangers. Let's see him one day and see what happens there. Alright, Jeff Courtnall extends his goal streak to 9 games. He had a goal and an assist against the Flames. Theo Fleury extends his goal streak to 5 games with 2 goals and an assist against the Flyers. And in that same game, Mike Ritchie extended his goal streak to 5 games with a goal. Alright, so what's going on here? So I have a bunch of injuries, of course. Yeah, Gernander can't play. So what's your ailment? A bruised ankle? I'm gonna put you on the injured list. I have to recall somebody else. I have all of that choice among all of those Alf-Star players. Alright, so we are in Minnesota with more injuries, facing the North Stars. So Minnesota not doing too good. They are 16, 31, and 11. That's good for 11th out of 12 in the conference. We are 1-0 against Minnesota. Go Kings, come on. Give me a W. Ugh, I hate when it does that. It's like... you can get 47. I am okay with that. Now, can I play my game? Artis Irby, yet again in net for us. Chris Terreri is going to be in net for Minnesota. Go Kings! Nice road win would be great. And that's what we got, a 6-3 victory. So we're doing better without Gretzky than we did with. So I think he was a cancer in the room. There, I said it. Alright, Artis Irby won us this game, a 6-3 victory. Oh, wow. There was not a whole lot of defense that was played in this game. We outshot Minnesota 51-41. Rob Blake was the first star of the game. He had 4 assists. Robert Cron was the second star with 2 assists. And Mike Ridley was the third star with a goal and an assist. Robert Reichel opened up the scoring on the power play from Dave Reed and Rob Blake. And then McGillney on the power play as well from Rob Brown and Rob Blake. 2-0 Kings. At that point, Minnesota scored twice. It was 2-2 after 1. Then it wasn't 2-2 after 1. It was 2-2 at that point. Gary Vaughan did score before the end of the period from Rob Blake and Robert Cron. 3-2 Kings after 1. There you go. I got it right this time. And in the second period, Gary Vaughan scored his 5th from Rob Blake and Mike Ridley. And then Rob Brown scored his 10th from Todd Gill and Jeff Smith. 5-2 Kings after 2. Then in the third period, Mike Ridley made it 6-2 from Robert Cron and Todd Gill. And then finally Minnesota scored, made it 6-3, but I got the W. Link Gates and Todd Gill got into a fight in the third period as well. All right, lots of news. Good game for Rob Blake. He had 4 assists, as we saw. Ooh. Sorry, the weather has been disgusting over here this week, so we all know what it does to me. Dino Cesarelli extends his point streak to 13 games with an assist against us. Steve Yzerman extends his point streak to 12 games with an assist against Tampa Bay. Good game for Dave Andreychuk with Buffalo. He had a hat-trick against the Whalers. Sylvain Turgeon extends his goal streak to 5 games in that same game. He had a goal. Cam Neely is sidelined with coccyx fracture. Oh dear God, I had that once in my life and it doesn't feel good. Like, have you ever taken like 15 minutes to sit down? Yeah, I have. It sucks. He's out for 6 weeks. Yerky Lume was suspended with Montreal. He's going to miss 3 games. Craig Janney had a strong game in that same game. He had a goal and 4 assists. Wow, that's pretty good. It was 8 straight game with an assist from him. Brett Hull extends his point streak to 19 games with a goal against the Devils. Joe Sakic extends his point streak to 14 games with 2 goals against the Sens. There was no stopping Doug Gilmour with Calgary. He had a hat-trick against the Leafs. Daniel Marois back from suspension with Toronto. Andrew Castles is feeling better. And Ray Shepherd is feeling better as well. Whew, that was a lot of news. And now we're going to be in Chicago to play against the Blackhawks. So Chicago is 31-24-5, and they've dropped a little bit for most of the season. They were second in the conference because they were atop of their division. But they are 4th now. We are 2-1-1 against the Hawks this season. Hopefully we can keep that a winning record. François Gravel is in net. FJ is probably celebrating with a drink or something. Wendell Young is going to be in net for Chicago. Go Kings! And it's a 4-1 victory. Look at that. We are on a roll, folks. We outshot Chicago 33-31. Dave Reed was the first star of the game. He had 2 assists. Rob Blake was the second star with a goal. And Todd Gill was the third star with an assist. We took a 3-0 lead into the first period. Rob Blake scored from Robert Reichel and Todd Gill, then Gerald Deduck from Ray Shepherd and Dave Reed, and then Alexander McGillney from Alexei Gusarov and Mike Ridley. 3-0 Kings. After one, Dirk Graham and Rob Brown got into a scrap, and Chris Jensen and Todd Gill face-punched each other. So those were the 2 fights in the first period. Second period, Magnus Arvidsson scored shorthanded from Dave Reed and Joe Rickey. 4-0 Kings after 2, and of course that held all the way until the end of... Oh no, it was 4-0. Chicago scored in the third. Sorry, made it 4-1. I got fooled by the fact that there were no assists there. And then finally there was a fight in the third period. Steve Thomas and Rob Brown got at it. And we have a nice 4-1 victory on the road. So 2 games in 2 nights on the road, and both of them were wins. That's pretty good. Brett Hull extends his point streak to 20 games. He had a goal and an assist against the Islanders. He's on a roll. Curry Millen is back from suspension with the Islanders. Back in the lineup over there. Suspension for Mark Messier with the Oilers. He's going to miss 3 games. Mark Recchi extends his goal streak to 6 games with 2 goals in that same game against the Oilers. Jeff Courtnall extends his goal streak to 10 games. He had a goal and an assist against the Canucks. Andrew Castles is feeling better. Ray Shepherd also feeling better. Alright, we have 1 day off, and then we're going to be playing in Washington against the Capitals. Steve Yzerman extends his point streak to 13 games with 3 assists against Calgary. Benoit Hugg extends his goal streak to 5 games with a goal and an assist against the Devils. A night to remember for Ross Courtnall. He had a hat-trick against Tampa Bay. Dressing room shenanigans may cost Hartford players Alexander Karpovtsev and Byron Dafoe, the little pranksters. Right, and Randy Ladouceur is on the block, so I'm waiting for somebody to make me an offer I cannot refuse. Right, so we have 4 games left in February. So we are in Washington right now. Washington is 32-23-2. We just played them just a few games ago, and it was a 4-0 victory at home. So another win here would be pretty awesome. Artus Airby is going to be in net for us. Andy Moog in net for the Capitals. Go Kings! Oh, we lost that one 2-1, so a tight game, but we ended up on the losing end of that one. We outshot Washington 43-38. Dave Christian was the first star of the game. He had 2 assists. Artus Airby, despite the loss, was the second star with 36 saves, and Rob Brown was the third star with an assist. So Capitals open up the scoring in the first. Then in the second period they made it 2-0, and then Robert Reichel scored from Robert Cron and Rob Brown. 2-1 Washington. And of course that's how the game ended. So we lost. Oh my god, so many news again. Dino Ciccarelli extends his point streak to 14 games with a goal against the Flyers. Dave Gagne extended his point streak to 12 games with an assist in that same game. Memorable game from Norm McIver. He had a hat-trick, 3 goals against the Sharks. Joe Sakic's point streak ended at 14 games. Didn't get a point against Tampa Bay. Craig Janney extends his assist streak to 9 games with an assist against Toronto. Oh, Al Seckard played in his 1000th game with the Jets. So Al Seckard was just claimed off waivers off of me after the Gretzky trade. So Seckard didn't get a point. That happened against Vancouver. Al Seckard is 34 and he is a star and a half player. Andrew Castles is almost 100%. Ken Gernander is almost back. Ray Shepard is back. Mo Manta has been put on the block by Minnesota. And Brian Hayward, oh, FJ's favorite goaltender there, is on the block from the Blues. Yeah. He's no François Gravel, but, you know. We said the same thing at the same time. Alright, so Chris Sichucky has been put on waivers by the Sabres. Dino Ciccarelli set everything up tonight. He had 4 assists against the Red Wings. That was 15 straight games with a point for him. Dave Gagne extended his point streak to 13 games with 2 goals and an assist in that same game. Steve Yzerman extends his point streak to 14 games with a goal and 3 assists against the... it was against Minnesota. It was in that same game. Brett Hull extends his point streak to 21 games with an assist against the Washington Capitals. Andrew Castles is completely recovered. Ken Gernander almost recovered. Mark Hardy has been put on the trading block by the North Stars, and the trade deadline is quickly approaching. Alright, so everybody's healthy over here. Now let's see. I have to wait 3 days before I can get Andrew Castles back. Alright, so we are in Tampa Bay to play against the Lightning. Lightning is 20-34-7, which is not too shabby for an expansion team. They are 10th in the conference. We are 0-2 against them. We have struggled against Tampa Bay this season. I would love to win this one game here. However, Arthur Serbe back in net for the Kings. Craig Biddington in net for the Lightning. Go Kings! Oh yeah, 8-0 trouncing, a good old-fashioned shellacking of the Tampa Bay Lightning here. We outshot. Yeah, he got that 4-1 win. You must have been away. He had a 4-1 win in Chicago, I think. It was a 4-1 victory, I believe. Alright, so 41-28 the shots for us, 8-0 the final score. Arthur Serbe was the first out of the game. He had 28 saves, the shutout, and the W. Robert Reichel was the second star with 2 goals and 3 assists. That's pretty good. And Ray Shepard was the third star with a goal and 3 assists. Robert Reichel opened up the scoring in the first on the power play from Alexander McGillney. Then we scored 6 goals. Next time, you should just urinate on yourself. That's a life lesson right there. Better to soil yourself than miss a gravel start. Alright, so we scored 6 goals in the second period. Alexander McGillney on the power play from Ray Shepard and Robert Reichel. Then Mike Ridley from Gary Volk and Gerald Deduck. Robert Cron on the power play from Robert Reichel and Ray Shepard. Ray Shepard on the power play from Alexander McGillney and Robert Reichel. Mike Ridley scored from Gary Volk and Dave Reed. And finally, Robert Reichel from Ray Shepard. It was 7-0 Tampa Bay after... 7-0 Kings after 2. And then in the third period, Magnus Arvidsson scored from Alexander McGillney and Rob Blake, and that was a good 8-0 win. I gotta love that. Alright, so Bob Sweeney is suspended for 6 games. I saw that he had a check to the head or something in the game against us. Steve Yzerman's point streak ended at 14 games. So we didn't get a point against the Flyers. Ken Gernander is primed to return. Ron Francis extended with the Hartford Whalers. So it doesn't say for how long. So we don't know for how long, but he extended. And Gordy Roberts has been put on the trading block by the Blues. Oh, cool. We have 2 days off, and now I'm going to be able to get Castles back. Pat LaFontaine extends his point streak to 12 games with a goal against the Washington Capitals. Mark Recchi extends his point streak to 12 games with 2 goals and an assist against the Devils. Mark Messier is back from suspension in Edmonton. Brettle's point streak ended at 21 games. He didn't get a point against Montreal, so Montreal stopped Brettle. Jyrki Lume is back from suspension in Montreal. Jim Johnson has been put on the block by Minnesota. Darren Veitch has been put on the block by the Flames. And Tony Urkus has been put on the block by the Blues. Oh, Mike Modano in Vancouver is suspended. He's going to miss 6 games. They never learn. Alright, so there's been some shenanigans in Hartford. And then Shell Dahlin has been put on the block by the Canucks. I should be able to get Andrew Castles back. Thank you, thank you. There you go. Right, and we're going to be in St. Louis to play against the Blues. We have 2 games left in February. The Blues are 28, 26, and 9. That's good for 6th in the conference. We are 1-0 against the Blues. It was a nice 7-2 victory the first time. Let's see what we do this time. Arthur Serbe in net for the Kings. Brian Hayward. Oh, so you don't get Gravel in net, but you get the second best thing. So we're facing Brian Hayward. Brian Hayward in net for the Blues. Go Kings! It wasn't a very defensive game. We won 7-6 in overtime, so both goaltenders allowed a lot of goals. We outshot the St. Louis 59-30. Andrew Castles was the first star of the game. He had 3 assists. Greg Paslowski was the second star with a goal and an assist. And Robert Cron was the third star with 2 assists. Dave Reed opened up the scoring in the first period on the power play from Alexander McGillney and Andrew Castles. Then the Blues tied the game. And then Rob Blake scored from Andrew Castles and Todd Gill. 2-1 Kings after 1. Then in the second period, Mike Ridley scored from Scott Arneal and Rob Blake, and then Alexander McGillney scored his 35th from Jeff Smith and Andrew Castles. 4-1 Kings at that point. Then the Blues scored 3 goals before the end of the second period, and it was 4-4 after 2. There was a fight between Dave Laurie and Joe Rickey. Then in the third period, the Blues scored. They took the lead. Then we tied it. Ray Shepard from Robert Cron. Then the Blues took the lead again, and then we tied it again. Ray Shepard from Robert Cron and Robert Reichel with 29 seconds left to go in the third period. And then the hero was Rob Brown in overtime from Mike Ridley and Rob Blake. 7-6 the final score. So have you noticed how we don't see any news about Wayne Gretzky since we traded him? Like, he's not having like super great games or anything that make the news or nothing. And ironically, that's going to be the next game we play. It's going to be against Toronto. Wayne Glensky. Zino Cicarelli extends his point streak to 16 games with an assist against Boston. Dave Gagne's point streak ended at 13 games, no point in the same game. Craig Janney extended his assist streak to 10 games in that same game. He had an assist against Minnesota. Mario Lemieux extended his point streak to 18 games with 2 goals and an assist against the Sens. Oh, the Sens have 10 wins. They need 1 more point to tie what they did in real life. So anything above 24 points is going to be better than what they did in real life. Mark Recchi extends his point streak to 13 games. He had an assist in that same game. Pat LaFontaine extends his point streak to 13 games with an assist against the Nordiques. Joe Sakic keeps fans on their feet all night. He had a hat-trick, 3 goals against the Islanders. Tony McKegney played in 1,000 games in his career. Didn't get a point. That happened against the Sharks. Tony McKegney is 35 and he is a 2-star player. No one could stop Luciano Borsato. He had 3 goals and an assist in that same game against Toronto. Mike Donnelly had a good game as well. He had 4 assists. And will Bill Berg be traded? Bill Berg is playing for the Islanders. He's been put on the block. So the trade deadline is tomorrow, so we might see some trades, maybe. Alright, Dave Andreychuk extends his point streak to 12 games with an assist against Montreal. Todd Krieger donates time and money to cancer research. Todd Krieger playing for the Sharks, so good person, gave some money, that's good for him. Kevin McClellan has been put on the block by the Oilers. Brent Feddick has been put on the block by the Red Wings. Kari Taco has been put on the block by Minnesota. David Mackey has been put on the block by the Blackhawks, and today is the trade deadline, which is probably why we're hearing so much about players on the block. Last game of the stream, 29, and 4. Toronto Maple Leafs are in town. They are 8 in the conference, so we are ahead of them. I'm kind of curious to see what Gretzky has been doing since he's been in Toronto. Hey, he's been okay, but, you know, that's not, like, super crazy Gretzky. 14 points in 9 games is good, but, you know, in the 90s, that's a regular good player's pace. Alright, we are 2-0 against the Leafs this season. Let's make it 3-0. We want them as low as possible in the standings because we have their first round draft pick. So let's contribute to that. Alright, Ken Reggett is in net for Toronto. Arthur Serbe is in net for us. Go Kings! Ooh, we lost 7-2. No bueno. We were outshot 39-20, and of course Gretzky waited to play against us to get his good game. So Gretzky was the first star of the game. He had 2 goals and 3 assists. Ross Courtnall was the second star, with 4 assists, and Ed Olchuk was the third star with 2 assists. Set out crowd in LA to see the return of Wayne, and it wasn't pretty. Toronto scored 4 goals in the first period. We were down 4-0 after 1. Then in the second period, they scored twice, made it 6-0. Then Andrew Castle scored his 25th from Jeff Smith and Scott Arniel. Then Gretzky scored, made it 7-1. Then Dave Reed from Jeff Smith and Robert Reichel, 7-2 for the Leafs was the final score. Ugh. Joe Rickey is hurt. No, I don't want for Joe Rickey to be hurt. He's just day-to-day. That's fine. Alright, so Ross Courtnall had a strong game, as we saw. He had 4 assists against us. Randy Wood is back from suspension, finally. Craig Janney's assist streak ended at 10 games. He didn't get a point against Washington. Rick Vive is suspended with Chicago. He's going to miss 2 games. Steve Yzerman has a good game, 4 assists in that same game against the Hawks. Dave Andreychuk, a point streak ended at 12 games against Montreal. Didn't get a point. A night to remember for John McClain. He had a goal and 4 assists against the Sens. Pat LaFontaine's point streak ended at 13 games, no points against the Flyers. Mario Lemieux extended his point streak to 19 games with a goal and 2 assists against Tampa Bay. Mark Recchi extends his point streak to 14 games with a goal and 2 assists against Tampa Bay. Dino Ciccarelli extends his point streak to 17 games with a goal against St. Louis. Don't care. Luke Robitaille is getting closer to return. That's great. And Sergei Fedorov extends in Buffalo. So 3 more years over there. So there were no trades on the trade deadline. That's kind of underwhelming. That kind of sucks, actually. North Stars Link Gates is suspended. He's gonna miss 1 game. Dino Ciccarelli is hurt for 3 months in Minnesota. That's gonna hurt the North Stars there, but I don't think that they're on pace to make the playoffs anyway. So his point streak ended at 17 games. Mario Lemieux extends his point streak to 20 games with a goal against Washington. Mark Recchi extends his point streak to 15 games with an assist against Washington. Luke Robitaille, Arthur Serbe, Ray Shepard, Gerald Dedock, and Randy Wood were the most sold jerseys this month. Luke Robitaille is close to be back. And oh, Luke Robitaille sold the second most jerseys in the league. Arthur Serbe the 4th, Ray Shepard 10th, and Gerald Deduck 14th. Wayne Gretzky is not even top 10, top 20. Ha! And Steve Yzerman and Arthur Serbe were the players of the month here in the month of February. That's interesting because it doesn't feel like Irbe was all that great, but I guess I did win quite a few games. Enough to climb to 7th in the conference, so that's definitely good. But nothing is won or a given. And we're going to need to continue to win some hockey games here. The standings are pretty tight. Alright, and let's see. Look at that. Buffalo is really good. Pittsburgh is crazy good. Yeah, Pittsburgh is the best team in the league. And now the Sens are officially the worst team in the league. Ooh, a minus 143 goal differential. Oh, the Sharks are worse. Minus 150. Oof. Alright, let's look at some stats for us. First time we're looking at our stats without Wayne Gretzky in the lineup. Alright, so Alexander McGillney is our best player. He has 70 points in 63 games. Castles has 68 in 55. Shepard 67 in 53. Robert Reichel 65 in 63. Rob Blake is really good, 51 in 63. Then it goes down from there. So we have 4 players that are a point per game this season. We just have a couple players that miss games due to injuries, but they are still point per game. Alright, I like that. And in the entire league, the best goal scorer is Brettel with 56 goals. Lemieux is second with 52, and Peter Klima is third with 51 goals. What an explosion for him this season. Best passer is Steve Yzerman with 86 assists, and the best scorer is Steve Yzerman with 120 points. Lemieux is second with 114. Then goalie leaders, even if Irbe had a decent month, I don't think we're gonna see anybody from us in here. Yeah, we're not. Only in wins. Arthur Serbe has 25 wins, but that's because he plays a lot. He's also, top 4. He's also 4th for losses. So, all right, we're gonna go ahead and save the game. We're gonna go ahead and call this a stream/video as well. It is time for my quick nap before I go to that hockey game. I'm old, I need my rest. I need my beauty sleep, god damn it. But anyway, so as usual, I want to thank you for tuning in. If you're catching that on YouTube later and you like the video, please feel free to like, subscribe, share, comment, all of that good stuff. I'm sure, if you have comments about what you would have tried to get for Wayne Gretzky, thinking that I could have gotten a better package, let me know. But anyway, until I roll this game again, I'll see you folks later. Thank you.